Hey, what's up, Patriots? This is Jericho. It's still April 20-something here. Another week went by, and finally, we got some arrests by our FBI, by our Kash Patel-led FBI. We'll tour the ruins here in a little bit, but we're seeing the mass destruction of the Democrat world right in front of me. It's glorious. It's glorious. And I just love seeing them tear this building down, man. This newspaper ruined our country, our county here. And you two newspapers, and then you let liberals in charge of the company. And next thing you know, the right-wing newspaper disappears. Next thing you know, the liberal newspaper is all that's left. And next thing you know, the liberal newspaper gets smaller and smaller, and the delivery to your house gets worse and worse. I mean, even to the delivery guys that deliver your newspaper, we got a whole driveway and a car sitting there, and this kid would throw the newspaper under the car for my 82-year-old dad to fish out with a rake. And just, that's if it even shows up. We've had to call for the newspaper because it wasn't there, I don't know, a dozen times in the last 3 months. And I just love seeing this destruction, man. Let's just tour this destruction. There used to be a big building standing here. We toured it a little while ago. They are leveling it, and there's more to go yet. There's still, this building back here is still yet to go. Right here, we got an old house, or yes, an old residence house that they're gonna let standing. They're gonna keep it historic. They'll probably restore that building. And then over here, this parking garage was built probably about the same time this building was built, but I guess libtards aren't in charge of that one, so it's gonna remain standing. It's still a functioning building, unlike the building right before us that is turning into a junk heap, ready for the shipping containers to go head over to China for recycling. What's up, Patriots? We got Barbara Shulker, Nebraska Patriot. Oh man, my lucky day. Hello, sweetheart. Deb Vice, silly for him. My double lucky day, Denari. Two-finger typer. Hello, Patriots. Hilda. Yeah, Hilda, I don't know if anything will happen with these arrests or not, but they're happening. They're getting arrested, finally. The one judge out in New Mexico, he had at least one proven illegal alien living on his property. There's video footage of him handling weapons and stuff. There is possibly he had more than just one living with him. And then there's another judge in Wisconsin that facilitated the escape of an illegal alien from a courthouse in Wisconsin. So at least the arrests are happening. I want to stay positive, and I want to continue thinking that the new administration, the people that they put in place, had a lot of cleaning up to do, man. FJB set off all kinds of turmoil and chaos right before he left office, and no doubt about it, it's going to take more than 100 days to clean up these courts that they loaded up with liberal activist rogue judges all over the country. And yeah, Trump is still playing it like it's all got to go through the courts while the courts are working. But the courts are, I don't know, if they want to remain relevant, and there's things that they're screwing up left and right, all the way up to the Supreme Court and the Bar Association and the whole legal community should be stepping in to make this honest and fair and constitutionally based. But what's happening is there's an education happening to the normal people that don't pay attention to this stuff all over the country right now. And that is that there can be corruption. We have seen a two-tiered system of justice now for at least 5 years, blatantly in our face. And it is amazing how these liberals, all of a sudden, they are just screaming mad about this illegal guy down in El Salvador, man. They were jumping up and down like he needs his due process. But where were all these Democrats talking about due process when the J6ers were going through the ringer, going through the grater in D.C., while they had their constitutional rights, all of them, stripped? They weren't allowed admissible evidence in court. They weren't allowed to have their due process. Nobody stood up for them other than us. And all these Democrats, all of a sudden, they want due process. We've had another instance where police went in and raided a bunch of students at a school, at a college, because they were protesting for the Palestinian topic. And they had their houses raided, but they didn't even have charges pressed. They were all let go. And they're screaming like their hair's on fire about that, man. So you just gotta look at this and say, what is this retardation, man, that's going on? Right on, Sylvia. They don't care about American citizens anymore. We gotta take care of our country. We have due process. Due process did occur for the illegal alien that got sent to El Salvador, the Maryland dad. But he's no more a Maryland dad. It's just more of the lies over and over again. It's atrocious, man. What's up, Sean? It's raining there. Good. That's good for the crops, man. It's good for the crops. It's springtime. Happens every spring that the rains come, the flowers bloom. All of a sudden you got to get out and start weeding. But if you stay on top of it, it's doable. That's the lesson of weeding, you know. God is good, man. He created this. Even if we didn't have any scriptures to know about God in this world, we'd know about God through the creation, obviously. It's all death and rebirth is the fingerprint of the whole creation here, our whole existence, whether you believe in God or not. Okay, it's becoming very obvious. In the lessons for today's normal American citizens, and it is delay, delay, delay. All right, every time Trump wants to make a move, a judge somewhere says, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. This is the judicial branch of the government usurping the executive branch of the government, man. What's the point of having elections if you can elect a guy that the judicial branch of the government can just shut down everything he wants to do? It's not supposed to be happening that way. Right now, we got the Doge team all tied up in court, man. They won't let anything happen there. Deportations, all tied up in court. The Google monopoly case, all tied up in court. The Meta surveillance with the CCP case, all tied up in court, man. We got Mayor Adams, a Democrat mayor of New York, had a change of heart and decided he wants to cooperate with ICE and allow ICE to come in and remove prisoners from Rikers Island. Nope, you can't do that. A judge stepped in and told the mayor of New York City he can't do what he wants to do in his own town, and that's all tied up in court now. We got the Department of Defense says they want to hire back all the people that didn't take the jab because they were fired irresponsibly, illegally, and they want to get rid of the mental illness in the people there. That they want to get rid of the transvestites and stuff. People who don't have coherent lines of thought, you know. They're born a man, they think they're a woman, they're women's or men think they're a men. They had to change the standards and everything for to allow these people in. We want to shut that down. A judge steps in on both of those instances and says, no, we're going to tie you up in court now. We got Trump wants to take money away from Harvard University. We've been giving Harvard University $6 billion a year. For what? What have we been giving them? That's tied up in court now. It goes on and on and on. That's just the ones I could just think of in about 5 minutes. And, this is going on in court. This is going on in court. They're overloading. They're doing the Cloward Piven strategy on the courts right now. They want to run 20 million people through the court system, and it cannot handle that in its current existence. We have to change the rules. We have to facilitate the movement of 20 million people out of this country. And there's no way to do it with the current system, the way courts are now. And I think it can be done because they rule on things as a block and stuff, but it's up to the legal people to straighten this out, man. And legal people understand that this is your last gasp. So many of our jobs out here, us regular people out here, our jobs have been replaced by robots and AI, okay? You're next, lawyers. Lawyers are next. Judges are next. There's a Grok app that you can get that will fight your own case for you in court. And I can't wait for that day, because the legal community has abused the power that they have been given to facilitate law and order on our land. They've become a two-tiered protection racket system that just can't go on. It cannot go on. Did Hegseth fire Rice? That's an awesome thing, man. That DOD guy that they called the leaker, when he got interviewed by Tucker Carlson, he brought that point up, man. He said that Suzanne Rice still has high top secret security clearance at the DOD. What's up with that? Well, right on, man. That is exactly what needed to be done. And the security clearances taken away from all the 51 intelligence agents that lied to us about the Hunter Biden laptop 4.5 years ago. On and on it goes. That's what we elected. That is what we voted for, and I'm glad to see it finally happening. It feels like it took forever because we had to wait 4 years peacefully while an imposter sat in that White House, and we did. And now it's our time. Now it is our time, man. Oh, sweet Sylvia. Sylvia with the link. Ding, 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 ding. At the Gateway Pundit. Thank you, Sylvia. That's fantastic news. I have not heard that yet today. But see how this information comes out, All of a sudden something happens. Everybody's like, wondering what's with this leaker guy. He looks cool. The Tucker interview was very revealing on that topic. And I believe that this was a method that they're using to flush out people that are hidden within the ranks of these departments, man. I believe the same thing just happened with Kristi Noem's purse, okay? Kristi Noem has got to have all kinds of security around her. Yet the other day, the story was her purse went missing. She had her meds in there. She had her money. She had $3,000 cash. She had a Rolex. She had all kinds of stuff in her purse. And I got to imagine that purse missing was some type of a sting operation to figure out who on the security team can be trusted or not, okay? Let's imagine security for the head of the Department of Homeland Security. It's more than just Secret Service, all right? It's more than just the FBI. It's the Department of Homeland Security. They got to be having their own security. They probably paid a guy and put cameras on him to go in and steal her purse just to find out who was looking the other way while it happened. Is that a possibility? I think it's a likely possibility. And we're going to see a couple of heads roll at the DHS now because of this. So I think these types of things are happening, which is what is meant by enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Know we are in power right now. Know that our team is in place. Know that Congress isn't doing anything right now. The only people that we elected are the ones that are in power right now at the heads of all the departments, man. Donald Trump did an end run around our Congress here. And I think this is it's got to work. It's our last chance, for crying out, man. Yeah, Jay Jones, man, that Wisconsin judge. Ooh, was she angry? She was so angry because she got caught. Let's put this one up here. So Milwaukee judge arrested by FBI for obstructing ICE scurries away from the press after leaving federal courthouse. Ha ha ha. Yeah. I love it. I love it. This is gonna accelerate, Patriots. People losing their positions, they're getting flushed out. That's called draining the swamp, man. God bless Team Trump. I love it. Okay, another another story that came to light in the last week was the House Oversight Committee was having an investigation into Andrew Cuomo, the ex-governor of New York, while COVID was wreaking its havoc. Cuomo made all the people who were from old folks' homes go back to their old folks' homes. That Oversight Committee made the Biden administration aware that they were forwarding criminal referral for Andrew Cuomo. They referred that to the Biden team in October of 24. So this was right at the end. He was still the president. The DOJ was still on FJB's watch then, and they didn't do anything about it. They did nothing about it. So that has been resubmitted to the DOJ, Trump's DOJ, and we will now see where that leads. Of course, Pam Bondi's got her hands full. She's got to figure out how to hire 5,000 new prosecutors for the ones she fired already. So we're winning, Patriots. It's just going to take time, man. When somebody, puts a hole in your roof, floods your house, starts a fire on the front porch, and you got to come home and figure out which fire. What do you do first, man? You got to fix the roof first. You got to put the fire out first. That's what happened right when Trump took office. So sit tight, Patriots. We are seeing movement, and it's going to be glorious. Yeah, he's got to defund the swamp. We got to straighten out the courts, man. There might need to be some major court legislation before you want to risk bringing all this into the court system and fight it the legal American way before we're going to get the results, before criminals are actually going to go to prison. So I think we're just kind of waiting on that all to happen. Dr. Oz back in the news here. Dr. Oz uncovers billions in Medicare and Medicaid fraud, waste, and abuse. If you thought USA was a problem, this will bring a little shiver to you. All right, Dr. Oz, man. He was our Republican candidate for governor here in Pennsylvania. I think that was a rigged primary, but oh well, Dr. Oz fighting for the team here. He's on the team. Uncover it all, 24/7 disclosure coming out right now. Did I see Glory B in here? Hello, Glory B. It's good to see you. I was watching your auction today. Wasn't saying anything, though. I hope it went well. I hope you're getting support, Glory B. Glory B would be heading to Texas for an event right now if she had the bucks to go do it. That's the problem with being a YouTuber, man. It's just hard to find the funding to go do the things that we'd like to be doing. But just make sure you support your streamers, man, especially the ones that are traveling around to go bring you boots on the ground coverage of stuff, man. So hopefully Trump DOJ gets on this Andrew Cuomo prosecution. All right, since the knucklehead from Maryland went down to El Salvador and had margaritas with the illegal alien down there. 4 more went down there, and they were demanding that they be able to see this criminal who they claim is a Maryland dad, but they didn't have the paperwork. Bukele sent them packing, said, "No, you don't have the paperwork. You're not here representing another government. You're here rogue. You are rogue. You are here visiting against your president's wishes, actually." And that was a smart move for any world leader, any leader of a country somewhere. If you go, kowtowing to people that just come to stir up trouble in their home countries, you're going to have trouble in your own country. Yeah, times are tough, glory be still. We're getting it around, though. Soon I'll be able to contribute to some stuff here, too. Hi, Lana. Good to see you, too. So I don't know if the 4 reps came back from El Salvador. They were saying like they were going to stay there until they got to see this guy, but I don't know how that panned out. I don't really care. They can hang out down there. They're insubordination. They're not doing their jobs here. When's that going to catch up with them, right? Congress ain't working anyways. I don't even think they worked 30 days yet this year. So it's just, it's in our face. It's a humiliation ritual. They just want us to know that they are not backing us up at all, man. That's right, man. Glory be. God provides as long as we stay on track. And that's hard to do sometimes too, right? I stay connected to the scriptures, have a little bit of that every day, and that keeps me on track, I think. What else? Oh, speaking of boots on the ground, Patriots, the California Patriot live streams was out there on Huntington Beach this week. They're going to put their efforts behind Steve Hilton, who's going to be running in the Republican primary for governor in California. And California needs a new governor, man, that's for sure. But unfortunately, their elections look really rigged because Gavin Newsom got elected. There were two votes to get him out of office, and somehow or another he won both of those to remain in office. So Steve Hilton is actually an immigrant here, and he's running for governor of California. And it was just cool seeing California Patriot live streams on the ground with this really cool speech on a beautiful beach that they were live streaming for us this last week, man. There is another guy. So this is the Republican primary coming up. So the Republicans are picking what candidate they want to run against, probably Newsom, or rumors are Kamala might run. I don't know, man. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. President Trump orders an investigation into ActBlue's illegal money laundering activity that we were first to report in December. Gateway Pundit, once again, leading edge of the story. I was thinking of calling ActBlue up to see if I donated to them, because that's what they were doing, man. They were stealing people's identities and depositing money into ActBlue under people who had no idea that they were delivering money to ActBlue. They weren't delivering money, but people were donating money under their stolen identities to ActBlue, and that is part of the money laundering machine that's been going on. And there's many different ways to launder money. ActBlue was one of them. So God bless Trump for ordering an investigation into ActBlue. Yeah, I don't know what that is, Glory be. There's no ice cream truck here. I think it's somebody's music or something. All right, and then I'm thinking, all right, once a judge is on a bench, right? If he makes decisions that then get overturned, that's one thing. To have one, maybe two decisions be overturned due to illegalities. But if you start being a judge with a track record of getting these things overturned, why isn't there some type of a review for judges if they're constantly getting overturned? I think it would behoove us. I think it would behoove the legal community to have some type of a ethics investigation possible when judges keep getting overturned. And I don't know if there is one there, if there is some type of a policy there with, say, the Bar Association or within the state attorney general's offices to review judges who on a high ratio get appealed and overruled. It's not working. If there is some type of system like that in existence, it is not working because this judge thing is out of hand. In fact, many people are calling this a judicial coup. And what that means is that the judicial branch of the government has overstepped their boundaries. They have assumed control of the executive branch also, which is not how this country was designed, man. This is, there we go, Steve Hilton, why I'm running for governor. He gave a great speech. He talked for almost an hour. He was about as entertaining as Trump. He's a great public speaker. I think his heart is in the right spot there, man. But yeah, Jay, how about it? All these judges making bad decisions, they should at least be reviewed, don't you think? And you would think we've been hashing out differences of opinion on the Constitution for what, 230 years? You would think there wouldn't be any decisions that need to be hashed out at this point. You would think everything would be concreted into place by now. I mean, if I spent that long building a house's foundation, I'd get fired because, you know, we want to build a house eventually here. We want a system that works, but we're just continually hashing out these trivial matters, and then they keep changing language. They keep changing the definition of words so that it makes everything impossible to see through, which is all part of the Cloward Piven strategy. It's Cloward Piven all the way, all over the place. Some type of a review, if it be a civilian review or within the legal community itself, man. Problem is when civilians get involved with the legal system, it's beyond your comprehension. You cannot understand the legal mumbo jumbo by design, and that's what keeps the lawyers and the judges employed, for sure, and makes like prosecutors such a mysterious job. How do they figure out who to arrest, man? We got a scenario here where during the last election, during the presidential election in 24, it was found that over 400 people registered to vote through a company that the Democrats hired in from Arizona, I think it was, that were falsifying records, all right? I have not heard the end of that, or I haven't heard a statement yet from any Republicans about that. But the odd thing about this is that all of a sudden, the head of our elections in this county has turned up dead. They found her body in the Susquehanna River last week. And she was like 33, 32 years old. Nice young lady. I met her several times taking classes so I could work at the thing. All of a sudden, she's dead. So I would hope that there's some type of an investigation going on and that there was an autopsy. This has just happened like days ago, and it sounds awful fishy to me, especially considering there was somebody trying to register illegitimate voters in this county 6 months ago. So no arrests have been announced, no prosecutions have been. It's all an investigation. We don't know. We can't talk about it. It's all secret till they decide they can tell us about it. So I don't know, man. All right, yeah, we got Ryan Zink running for office down in Texas. That's all good stuff, man. These J6ers, they are gutsy. They're not rolling up into a corner. Oh, once they got out of prison, they hit the ground running, man. I hats off to them J6ers. Another thing, Klaus Schwab, the head of the WEF, for 50 years, the originator, the guy who established the WEF, decided to resign. And they're saying, oh, there's a whistleblower that says there was corruption. He was corrupt. And I don't care. I don't care. All I know is he stepped down, and yeah, he was corrupt. We all knew Klaus Schwab was corrupt. But now he was corrupt with his own people or whatever. I'm not going to waste any time listening to that story because I know he's corrupt. They're going to investigate themselves and find nothing to be wrong. It's going to be a clown show. And that's probably how that's going to pan out. But the guy who's taking over is a guy named Peter Brabeck Lamate, and he is the CEO of Nestle Corporation. Yes, the Nestle candy bar food conglomerate is now in charge of the WEF, and this guy is even worse than Klaus Schwab. So heads up, they're not backing down, they're doubling down at the WEF. And we all know what they represent. We all know that they are they're trying to destroy humanity. You know, they want 50 million people on the planet, which requires the execution of 6.5 billion people. And we know where they stand. So heads up for this guy from Nestle. Interesting thing I wanted to bring out to you guys. When you go to read the Bible, one of the most important parts of any Bible to read is all the pages before Genesis 1:1, okay? In the first couple of pages, there is an explanation of how the particular Bible you're holding was translated and what it was translated from. There are multiple texts out there that they've discovered throughout time. I mean, throughout hundreds and hundreds of years of passing, especially the New Testament, down to us to this day and age. There are multiple texts out there, and they all don't say the exact same thing. So in that foreword to Genesis 1:1, you will get a description of what manuscripts they were using to interpret, to translate the New Testament, especially, okay? And one of the weird things is that a lot of those old manuscripts are owned by the Nestle family, all right? So these people are embedded. They are embedded deep. And for hundreds of years, they have been embedded, all right? So they have been manipulating our scriptures. Yes, that's known. That's what a lot of atheists will go, I don't believe it because, you can't believe anything. It was written by man and whatnot. But there is a way to get to the bottom of truth. It takes a little studying and whatnot to get to the bottom of everything. And it is possible. You got to devote yourself, pray for the Holy Spirit to enlighten you, give you the motivation to do it. And I got to the bottom of all of it. I kind of understand what the Old Testament was. It was a prediction of a Savior who was going to come. And I understand a lot what the New Testament is now, due to studying these different manuscripts and their histories and where they were found and who owns them now and all that stuff. So anytime you're reading the Bible, just read those first couple of pages because they're very enlightening. It tells you how they hid the name of God in the Old Testament. The name of God is not so holy that it cannot be spoken, like the Jews will tell you, like all the rabbis will tell you. They believe it is blasphemy to enunciate the name of God, all right? That's the whole story of the stoning of Stephen back by Paul, back in the New Testament. They accused him of blasphemy because he came out and spoke the name of God. And the rabbis of the day didn't feel that you were qualified to even do that. So, but in the Old Testament, the name of God appears over 6,000 times. And they changed it. They changed a 4-letter word, which is the name of God. It's called, and they changed it to 2 words. The Lord, in capital Lord. that the Lord represents the actual name of God that they hid over 6,000 times in the Old Testament. Now, something's up with that. Now, I know that you can pronounce it without being accused of blasphemy, because David pronounced his name, Moses said his name, all the prophets said God's name, okay? And so we know that the whole rabbinical law that you can't even pronounce the name of God is false. It is absolutely false, just by reading the scriptures and reading a couple pages before Genesis 1:1 to understand that, you know. So now when I read the Bible, I see the Lord, I know that actually means Yod He Vav He, the 4 letters that are meant to spell God's name. We don't know how it's pronounced, but I know that was slipped in there to obscure the truth, to obfuscate the truth, man. Oh, Sylvia, I'm looking forward to this, man. President Trump to hold a 100-day celebration rally in Michigan on Tuesday. Yeah, that's right, man. So it'd be nice to have a Trump rally once again, man. I think he's going to give an epic speech of his first 100 days. It's going to be mind-boggling how much he got done without the cooperation of the Congress and without the cooperation of the embedded people in all the departments that he is the commander-in-chief of. I'm looking forward to an epic speech by Trump on that day, and I hope you guys all check it out, man. I'm definitely watching that one. So, yeah, Klaus Schwab out of there. CEO of Nestle is in there, but know that these globalist warmongers, they are dead men walking. Their time has ended. We are taking over. It's not just in America. This is in the whole world right now. We are getting rid of these globalist people that are nation destroyers. They're enemies of humanity. They are satanic, all right? Whether you understand that or not, they are satanic. So you're just going to have to take our word for it there, man. All right, Tesla stocks are peaking. That's a good sign. Tesla takedown campaign fails flat as company stock soars by 25% over the last week. Trump was right again. It was a good time to buy, right? Oh, another thing, it's tied up in court now. Federal judges say Trump administration must rehire all the people that the Voice of America has fired. Who is that? Katie Lake, in charge of Voice of America. She went in and cleaned house. Federal judge steps in and says, you can't do that. You got to hire all them people back. And No, we don't. No, we don't. And now the Democrats all say, well, whoa, is Trump going to start ignoring judges? Maybe we're going to have to do that. If they are obviously anti-American, we're going to have to start ignoring it. It's our duty after a long line of offenses to put our government back in order. And here's another instance of the judicial system making a joke, making a mockery of what we put them in charge to do. The SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, was debating about letting gay porn being allowed in libraries that 5-year-olds had access to. That's what the Supreme Court of this land is talking about this week. They're destroying themselves, man. They are, to have the condition that this country is in, we're on the cusp of World War III in 2 or 3 different locations on the world. And this is what the Supreme Court is discussing right now, is absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So that's what I think these globalists are going down. We just got to keep marching forward. Don't listen to the static that they're trying to tell us, that we're small in numbers, that we don't know what we're talking about, that we're in a cult. I mean, they are projecting everything that they say, everything that they do, they accuse us of doing, man. Oh, Tammy Green. How are you, Tammy? Tammy, there just are not enough hours in a day. And I missed that talk. And then I couldn't find it. There's the number for the governor of Colorado right there. Let's get on Tina Peters. This is an issue where we the people got to step up. People of Colorado dropped the ball on this. We now have to call up and get this Tina Peters out of prison, man. She is a victim of the two-tiered system of justice. She exposed wickedness. She exposed fraud and corruption in Colorado's election system. And the judicial branch of that government just went full bore on a nice, what is she, a Gold Star mother. She is a great grandmother. She's a great person. She was volunteering at her election boards. She was concerned about honesty. She was, and then took the measures to find the corruption, document the corruption, and then was put through a sham trial where she wasn't even allowed to present the evidence of how she found the information and whatnot. What information? She wasn't even allowed to admit that in her case. It was a total sham court hearing that convicted her, and she's still in prison waiting for trial. Tammy Green wanted me to watch this show yesterday on the Dan Noon Report on Rumble. At 2 o'clock, he had somebody calling in about this whole thing here. There it is. Thank you, Tammy. Because I went back to look for that and I couldn't find it, man. So it's on Steve Stern's show, not the Noon Report now. The recording of that interview. Okay. So that's important, man. We still got people on fighting the fights, man. We can't just drop our gloves and say it's over or just kick back and enjoy the show. I am enjoying the show, but I'm biding my time. Where do I jump in next? You know, there's obviously going to be somewhere, sometime when I got to jump in next. We got a lot of local issues here. The prison is going way over budget. The death of this election head here is really fishy, among other things. We just lost that election here to a Democrat because the guy put all his eggs in the GOP basket and they dropped the ball on him. A lot of stuff I got to do locally right now and pay attention to, which is fine, man. Trump team is in control, but we got to back them up. Avoid the doom and embrace the boom. Because it's happening, people. It is happening quickly, and it's only just begun. It is only just getting started. Tommy Tatum was live with Cindy Young on YouTube today. Yes, I saw a little bit of that today. That was very good. Tommy Tatum is starting to put some somewhat polished videos together about the violence that happened on January 6th. Tommy was there. He filmed a lot of it. And he's stepping it up right now. I'm pretty happy to see what Tommy's putting out there. Okay, silly for him. Enrique Tarrio is advocating for Shane Lamont to receive a pardon. He needs Pam Bondi and Ed Martin's help. Okay, Ed Martin, the prosecutor in D.C., and there is still others that need pardons. They've had their sentences commuted, but they have not received their pardons. And it's holding up their military benefits. There's 14 that I know of, silly, that have not received the pardons yet. Good people. Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. Okay, read up on that one in the chat there. Thank you, Sylvia. That's a lot of information there. I got a whole nother page of notes here. This was only from the last 4 days. Marco Rubio has made sweeping changes to the Department of State to address bloat and bureaucratic methods that are going on in D.C., or in the State Department right now. And no doubt about it, the lawsuits are going to start flying about that one, right? He just announced that the other day. What else? The head of 60 Minutes, the director of the 60 Minutes TV show on CBS, Bill Owens, has just resigned this week. I'm assuming that has a lot to do with the lawsuit that Trump filed against them for altering the Kamala interviews right before the election. And, you know, watching these guys walk out, you might think, oh, they deserve more. They need to be prosecuted for lying to the American people, for abusing their FCC privileges to lie to the American people. But them resigning is a statement that they're getting scanned. They are being looked at right now. And I'd put money that eventually this Bill Owens guy's going to get charges, because all the TV stations operate with an FCC license. And we'll see how that goes. You know, of course, we think it's just legal to lie to the American people because of the Smith-Mundt Act that Obama modified in 2012, but we'll see, man. We got Senator Ron Johnson. He wants to put together a 9/11 commission, okay? So we got a J6 commission review in operation already with Barry Loudermilk. And now Ron Johnson wants to put together a review of the scandalous committee that looked at all the evidence of 9/11 and came to the conclusions that they did, which is all a joke. There are so many people that they did not call in for witnesses that had vital information, and they came to the wrong conclusion on the 9/11 commission, man. So that's getting started. These are all things, man. They're just like tiny little balls. We're just getting the ball rolling here with this kind of stuff. Dan Caldwell interview on Tucker. That was for the 9/11 thing. Dan Caldwell was a dude that was at 9/11 and then was just harassed out of his position once he started saying things against the 9/11 committee while it was going on, man. Okay, and then we had the raids on the students. If you want to see that, you can go to Libtard Status Coup News. They were showing these raids that were happening with the students, but they were raiding them and then letting them go. I mean, it wasn't like a pre-dawn raid like the J6ers all had to go through. It was a light raid. They came in. I'd probably put them in handcuffs for a little while, and then they let them go. Not at all like J6, but the libtards are screaming like their hair's on fire about this, while they sat on their hands the whole 4 years that the J6ers were getting run through that gamut of corruption in D.C. Okay, Trump and Hegseth are bringing back 8,700 military that were fired for not taking a jab. So this isn't just a couple of people. This is 8,700. And pray to God that these guys want to come back after an experience like that, man. They had to like actually quit their positions, give up their livelihoods, where they were living, in order to just not comply with an illegal order to take an experimental jab. And it's fact. That's fact. How can you argue with that? So, but that's getting tied up in court. Okay, we got the Democrat judge in New Mexico. His name is Joel Cano. At Trinidad members in his home. The New Mexico Supreme Court banned him. He resigned, okay? Judge Cano resigned as soon as that came out. Then the New Mexico Supreme Court banned him. And then the FBI came and arrested his wife. And then they came back and arrested him. He is currently out on bail from what I heard this morning. His wife is still sitting in jail. And there was possibly way more to this story than we have been told about so far. All right, Ron Johnson said he had the dirt on 9/11. Good. There is a lot of dirt, and a lot of it came out in that Tucker Carlson interview with Dan Caldwell. That was only like a week and a half ago, that interview. Tucker Carlson putting out great interviews. He's the guy that interviewed the DOD guy. And his name, man, I might be mixing him up with Dan Caldwell. He had a very similar name to the 9/11 guy and the DOD whistle guy that got fired. Had very similar names. Okay, another little silver lining. Democrat Dick Durbin, 40 years in power, has decided he is not going to be seeking re-election, probably because he's under some type of an investigation right now. But Dick Durbin is not going to be running again. I'm not sure where he's from, Wisconsin or Michigan or something, Ohio, Kentucky, wherever it is. Get ready to put a MAGA representative in his place. The GOP is going to sit on their hands. They are not going to take this opportunity to become activated. And that's why I feel like MAGA's got to have their own organization here. So we'll just take it on ourselves that we got to organize these votes here. I learned that lesson the hard way just 2 months ago here. Take it upon ourselves to make sure that the MAGA people are getting out and voting. And then I think we touched on it right at the end of the last stream I did, but Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, was found to be guilty of the exact same things that she was prosecuting President Trump for, with real estate overvaluations, lying on loan information documents and things like that. And she is still free enough now to put together a coalition of state attorney generals to sue Trump over the tariffs. So this is the corrupt judicial branch in New York. New York is a hotbed for this corruption that it's out of hand, patriots. It's out of hand. Congress has worked 25 days this year. That's pathetic, man.
Big ass town, that's what it is.
I want to enjoy this some more. The wreckage. This is the wreckage of Democrat policies right here. Used to be a fully functioning factory employing hundreds of people here. And they whittled it down to nothing, to the point they couldn't even sell the business and they had to give it to NPR. So now our tax money is going to NPR to keep this libtard newspaper afloat here and the libtard radio station here afloat. They're halfway there. Another big building right there in the background going to have to get destroyed. And I love it. Every day, every time I drive past here, I am just so happy to see this. Tear it down. And you know what's going up here? A nice retirement skyscraper that's going to be as big as that building over there, owned by conservative people. Conservatives coming in and picking up the slack, taking the opportunity, the lost opportunity by these libtards, and we are going to claw back our country from these bums. And the lunacy is on display just over and over and over again, man. Democrats claim to be against school shootings, but then they raise $1 million for a thug who stabbed and killed an innocent white kid at school. Allegedly innocent. All right, so all this is alleged until the case comes out. But who would have thunk, man? Who would have thunk that all of a sudden this kid would have a give, send, go with $1 million in it, you know? It's amazing, man. Amazing. Judge Roberts right here. Possibly the leader of the judicial coup. So these are posts. This is a post from Cat Turd. He's a dude in Texas, I believe. And these are posts off of the Hayden Music page, man. It's a good time, good place to get your daily update on what just happened the day before in an entertaining way. What's going on with Judge Roberts? And what's going on with Letitia James, or Ketanji Jackson? Has she figured out what a woman is yet? I'm not sure. All right, only us old folks will find this one humorous. That's Jay and Silent Bob. You remember that movie? I don't even remember what the movie was. We're everywhere. Okay, Sylvia, thanks for clearing that up for me. Tucker Carlson 9/11 interview was with former Rep. Kurt Weldon. I don't know why I had that confused with Caldwell. The name started with a C. You know, that's enough to trip me up sometimes. Ooh, is Roberts on the flight logs? Imagine that. Just in case you don't know. Save the kids. Thank you for the link, Sylvia and Tammy. What would we do without you guys? Sad reality is that Republicans are nowhere near as committed to saving America as the Democrats are to destroying America. So Cindy, did you understand that was Trump and Vance? That was who was they imposed. That's Trump and that's actually Vance. I had to look at that one twice when I first saw it. So let's just keep fighting, Patriots. We're an awesome family. We've been through a bunch of hard knocks. We all been to the school of hard knocks together. And that has given us a great sense of community amongst ourselves. I think we're pretty much rock solid. We pretty much had every trick in the book played on us now, that we can navigate through this quagmire of relieving the globalist warmongers from their grip on society, on humanity. All right, Glory be. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just about finished here. I just want to share some pictures of some great Patriots out in Western PA. MAGA Warriors. Yes. Yeah, I had to look at that twice too. Okay, in the top, that's a mask needed to prevent virus inhalation and absorption through the eyes. That little paper thing at the bottom is a mind-controlled device, and we all just saw how great that worked, right? We all just saw that. Donna Ray, no, I didn't know that. Crockett would never submit to an IQ test. No way. After 20 years in Congress, Curt Weldon was about to become chairman of the House Armed Services Committee when he publicly questioned the accuracy of the 9/11 report. In retaliation, the Bush administration sent federal agents to his daughter's house and ended his political career. Isn't that amazing? So even under our Republican President Bush, they were doing lawfare. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. This is us. Oh. We figured it out. We have finally figured it out, and we do not have to chase the red laser dot all over the floor, Patriots. Those days are over. We are on our path to victory, and we will overcome. Clear the screen. All right, there we go, Patriots. Flip it back around for one last shot. Thanks for joining me today, Patriots. We just spent an hour together again. So much going on. It's hard to keep track of everything. So much of it is irrelevant information. So much of it is information we should be jumping over the moon over, like Priscilla says. And I am when I understand what's actually going on. And it's starting to look a lot like a golden age, man. Definitely stay tuned in. Plan on watching Trump's speech on Tuesday out of Michigan, the 100-day rally that he's announced. And we got to continue to keep fighting for Tina Peters, for the 14 J6ers that need pardons. There's still many things that we got to stay involved in. And I appreciate you guys for sticking around for all of that, man. All right, Patriots. Have a great day. Love your neighbor as yourself. Read some scripture today. And God bless you all. This is Jericho, over and out.